Hi guys, I'm Charlie, your Charlie Book Fanatic. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about TV shows I want to watch in the new year of 2017. So let's get started because I have quite a few TV shows to talk about. Let's start with the TV shows that I want to watch from the beginning, just completely new to me. All of these TV shows were recommended to me by someone on Twitter, so I decided to check them out because they seem to match up with some of my earlier TV show interests, which I will talk about in a minute. And the first TV show I want to talk about is True Blood, which is a vampire TV show. This TV show has 7 seasons and has since ended, and it follows a telepathic waitress called Suki Stackhouse, and she meets this charming man called Bill who turned out to be a vampire, and she gets introduced to this whole new supernatural world. So I am thinking it's not only vampires but also some other supernatural creatures like werewolves maybe. Not sure though, I'm just sure it follows vampires. I'm normally not a big vampire fan, but I am a huge fan of the Vampire Diaries, which I will talk about in a minute. So I decided to give this one a try since it seems to be a bit more horror-y, a bit scarier. I'm not a huge horror fan, but I thought the Vampire Diaries was quite brutal sometimes already, so let's see how this will go over with me. Second show is called The Night Shift and currently has 4 seasons. It's still running and it follows a group of doctors from the army who return to work the night shift at a hospital in San Antonio. And that's all I know about it. This was recommended to me based on Grey's Anatomy, which I recently started watching, and I will talk about in a minute as well. The third show is a show called The Borgias, and it follows this crime family in the 15th century. It's an Italian family, and if you watch some of my other videos, I might have said I am incredibly interested in the 15th century, and specifically in the Medicis. But the Borgias were a family that lived alongside the Medicis, and I don't know a lot about them. But I talked to the same person who recommended me the other shows, and she was also really interested in 15th century Italy, and she recommended me this TV show which I've never heard about. It has ended and has only had 3 seasons, so it is manageable to watch it, and I'm very excited to find out more about this family. Then over to the shows I have already watched some of it and want to continue watching in 2017. The first one is a show called Chicago PD, and I've only watched 1 episode of this and then dropped it because I had so many other shows to watch, but I really want to start watching this actively. I particularly started to watch this show because of a certain actress. That actress is Sophia Bush. She played Brooke in One Tree Hill, which is one of my favorite contemporary TV shows absolutely ever, and I love how she played Brooke, and I wanted to see her act in another show, so I wanted to pick up Chicago PD. And this follows 2 different units in District 21 of the Chicago Police Department. It follows the intelligence unit as well as the uniformed cops. The show is still running and currently has 4 seasons. The next show I have only watched a couple of episodes of, and it might sound a little bit weird, but I want to watch My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Someone recommended the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic comics on her channel, and then I discovered that there was a TV show of this, and I really like My Little Pony, so I decided to start watching it, and it's kind of fun. And it's about this pony called Celestia who sent to a village to study the magic of friendship with all of her pony friends. The show currently has 7 seasons and is still running. And over to the shows I have watched a lot of. The first show I'm going to be talking about is New Girl, and New Girl I've watched since the beginning in 2009. I saw it somewhere and I was interested in the premise. It follows these roommates that live together in an apartment, and in the first episode Jess, who is a girl, comes to live in this apartment with all of the guys that already live there, and they have to adjust themselves to this new living situation. There are now 6 seasons from that first episode and I'm still enjoying it just as much. It's a show that it's just a comedy show with 20-minute episodes. You can watch it very fast, and I still think it's just as funny as it was in the beginning. Then, one of my favorite shows ever, The 100. This show is set 97 years after a nuclear war has wiped out all of humanity, and the people who have survived are living on the spaceship. They send 100 juvenile delinquents to Earth to test out if it's safe to live there, and obviously a lot of things ensue from that. We are currently 4 seasons in and the show is still running. It's one of my favorite shows ever. I love the character dynamics and seeing how all of these characters have grown. And the show also kills off some characters who are very near and dear to my heart, so I have cried a lot of tears. Another one of my favorite shows ever is Reign. This show is about Mary, Queen of Scots, who has to go to the French court to marry Prince Francis of the French court. And Adelaide Kane, who plays Mary, is one of my favorite actresses right now because of the way she portrays Mary. I genuinely love this. It's another historical fiction show and it does stray quite a bit. This is obviously also set in the 15th century because it does follow Catherine de Medici as well. Can't help it, guys, can't help it. I'm really in love with the 15th century and the Medicis and just the way the world was operating back then. The show currently has 4 seasons and is still going on. Then the Vampire Diaries, which started out with Elena, who came to stand between these two vampire brothers and she had to choose between them. And we are now 8 seasons from that first episode and obviously a lot has changed. This show is going to end after, I think, the end of season 8. I am still on season 7 because I haven't watched it in a while and I do want to catch up in 2017. But I'm just not as interested as I was in the beginning. Especially because Nina Dobrev, who played Elena, has left the show since then. And I just feel like the story is not as good as it was and a lot of characters I love are missing right now. So I do think it's good that the show is ending. It's not my favorite anymore, but I do still want to watch to the ending because of those years of watching like 7 seasons, that is crazy and I'm not going to give up on it now. Then I'm also watching The Originals, which is a spin-off from the Vampire Diaries and it follows these 1,000-year-old vampires who try to take back the city that they built so long ago. And I started watching a spin-off because of Klaus, who was once a very prominent character in the Vampire Diaries but has since left for The Originals. And I love Klaus. I've just watched his entire show, even though I don't like it that much, for Klaus. But I haven't watched it in a while because I think I was on an episode where Klaus wasn't as prominent, like he wasn't as much in the story as he used to be. And I don't like that because I watched his entire show for him. So I am going to catch up in 2017, but I'm just not caught up on it now. We're currently on season 4 and the show is still continuing on. And then lastly, I want to watch the Shannara Chronicles, and this is a fantasy TV show based on a book series. I love this TV series. I've never read the book series, but I absolutely love this TV show. The first season was just this past year. Season 2 has not yet commenced, but I am very excited after watching this first season. I thought it was so well done. I love the acting. I love the whole fantasy world and love the diversity in this. I want to know how this world is going to continue on, especially because I haven't read the book, so I don't know anything about it really. So I'm very excited after the ending of season 1 because they did take a really cool direction with the show. So I cannot wait for season 2 to start. These were all the TV shows I want to watch in 2017. Let me know if you watch any of these TV shows and what you think about them, or what TV shows you are going to watch in 2017. I would love to know. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!